Here we are.
Good evening. Good evening, Oracle. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm just making sure all of our things are running smoothly. I think they are. How are you?
I think they're. I am not bad. I am looking forward to this match. I did a video with Toby Tyke, he called himself. I did a video with Toby Tyke, and I predicted that France-Senegal would be one of the games of the tournament because Senegal, as everybody knows, they won the African Cup of Nations, but it was stripped from them and given, as far as I'm aware, to Morocco. So Senegal are no pushovers. I don't remember the exact details. I think there was some controversy around it. And France, as we all know, have Mbappe and probably one of the best squads in the World Cup. So as far as I can see, I think this could be a very, very interesting match. Now, I am just going to keep an eye on the chat and make sure this is live. Okay, I'm just making sure.
Before... Oh, okay, yeah. I'll wait. Right.
Are we going to do the... do you want to do the predictions for this match?
I was going to ask, do we want to prepare our... Let me open up Gosh quickly, or somewhere else. I was going to ask, actually, do we want to prepare and have a little think about who we think is going to win, goal scorer, those sorts of things?
Well, I am on BC Game right now, and I have gone to SportBetB. What I'm going to do is I'm going to basically give you some idea of what BC Game people say, and then we can make our own decision. So basically, what it looks like, if I go to the match itself, let's wait for this to load. Give me a second. Oh, there we go. Right then. So, France are massive favourites for this match.
I'm not surprised.
I do not agree.
You don't agree?
I do not agree that France are massive favourites for this match. The problem I've got is European teams, England, Spain, France, Germany, Holland,
yep.
They are always given really favourable odds because betting isn't necessarily about having accurate odds. It's also based on how many people are putting bets on. So if there's more and more people putting bets on France, the odds of France winning drop, if that makes sense. So it's not necessarily a bookies will give you 5-1 on Man United to let's say win the FA Cup next year, but if there's 10 million quid put on Man United to win the FA Cup, the odds will go to maybe 2-1 without anything else happening, without a ball being kicked. So I think France are clear favourites. That's the first thing. If we go down as well, one of the things I also like to look at is goal scorers. Now, obviously, we're going to pick a winner in a minute, and we're going to pick goal scorers. So France is the clear favourite. Now, goal scorers, we've got Dembele, who is a very, 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 very good striker. And then we have a few others. We've got Kone, we've got Thuram. I can't see past Dembele. So, irrespective of who wins, Dembele is favourite to score at any point in the match. That's on the French side. And for Senegal, we have Diarra, Nicholas Jackson, who plays or has played for Bayern Munich and Chelsea. He's also up there. So I think it comes down to Jackson, Diarra, or Dembele. What do you think?
Well, I'd have to concede on the knowledge of the nitpick knowledge of those. I think I'm obviously leaning towards France in most of this. So I would have to go with the French striker.
So Dembele. Okay. Now, you've got Mbappe as well for the French side. If I look at the teams, let me very quickly bring up the squads before we go any further. I'll give you an idea of... Not now. Let's have a look. France, Senegal. Here we go. Right, lineups. So France, some of the names that you'll know. Saliba, who plays for Arsenal, is in defence. Tchouameni is in midfield. He plays for Real Madrid. Rabiot used to play for Juventus, also played for Man United. Elise plays for Bayern Munich. Dembele plays for PSG. Mbappe is up front. Obviously, he plays for Real Madrid as well. Then, on the opposite side, you've also got a very, very good African team. Koulibaly is in defence for them. They've got Idris Gueye midfield, Sadio Mane up front, Nicholas Jackson up front, and Sarr. So I would say, and I'm going to get shot for this, I'm going to say a draw. But if you go with, but if you say a France win, then we go with a French win. I'm going to give you the deciding vote.
I'll go with French win.
Go for the France. Go for France, and go for Dembele then. I think they're pretty good odds.
All right, let me go make sure I know how to spell this name. All right, let me go just go copy it. That was how I expected to spell it. However, unfortunately, there was tildes. All right, perfect. So we've got a score, top of the screen. We've got our winner and Dembele as a scorer for this match. The stream, this is the smoothest I've been able to stream the match elsewhere, which is good. Legally, through legal means. Kind of people, people might think, oh, I bet he's found something online. No. Right.
Now, next question then. We have pretty much failed with our drinks and snacks for tonight, haven't we?
I've not even tried. I finished a cider. I've brought a second one up. I'm not even going to open it. Can't bother. I had a Boost bar left over from yesterday. Just ate it full stream. Can't bother. I've not got anything. I've got water, which, as we can see, I'm disappearing into the black void of nothingness. Hold on. There we go. No, can't see it. There's about, and I'm going to estimate about 150 ml left. I've not got anything.
Have you not got any cider?
If titanium shutters was closed me in my room, I'd probably die very quickly. I've got no drink it. All I'm excited for is to see the aftermath of France after this match on Twitter. That's the one thing I'm looking forward to. Now, again, it might be a good game of football tonight. Yes, okay, but I'm out of my room. I've got totally half a cider. Don't want to. Am I an attentive football watcher, especially when it comes to streams? If you were there yesterday's stream, you will know. So I think I'm just excited to see how France turns out. How many cars can get blown up? How much spray paint is going to be used? How many kilograms or kiloliters? No, liters, not kiloliters. Well, it doesn't make sense. Is it liters for what's the measurement?
Measurement for what?
Spray paint.
I don't know actually. Milliliters, I think.
Literage.
I think so. Right, I've got the stream up so I can see you and I. I've got the stream on the TV as well. So I think we are ready. Live from New York. So this game is taking part in New York. That should be a little bit cooler than some of the matches that... Yeah. Actually, what is the temperature?
Temperature in New York is 24.
It's perfectly fine. Question is, do you need a drinks break at 24 degrees? I don't think you do you?
No chance. I mean, they're going to do it anyway, but whatever. Exactly. What is the right now in France? I want to see what is in France and what is in Senegal to see what there is. It's actually 24 as well in France, but from experience, it's very, very, very humid place. What is the Senegal is 27, so Senegal slightly have the upper hand. What was the result for yesterday's match?
Which one?
The one we watched. It was 1-1, wasn't it? Right.
Yeah, it's 1-1.
So the temperature difference didn't really... the advantage Egypt had didn't really... Again, like I said, Belgium, during the water break, I said this on stream, I could see the glisten on all their skin. They drenched themselves in deep freeze. which allowed them to actually pull back and score that equalising goal, which is what I would have done. And that's what I was theorising during the water break. I could see the glisten, I could see the empty bottles. But it looks like no one needs to do that today. Very, very normal weather.
Right, I need to basically. I forgot to tell. I have forgot to advertise the stream. That doesn't help, does it? Let's pin that. Okay, there's one, and then the other one is our other group. Let's pin that. Okay, so I've pinned it and I've pinned it. I think that is all I could do. Let's get back in here. I need to get rid of that. So we are going to go for France and Dembele to score in this match at any point.
Can't tell which side's France and which side's Senegal.
France are in the blue tops and the white shorts, and Senegal are playing in white with, I think they've got green shorts. I'm telling you now, right? Senegal are going to absolutely tear up this tournament.
Yeah.
France have got all the names. Senegal have got all the players, in my opinion. I think Senegal, I said before the tournament started, I think an African nation is going to go really far. It's hot as nuts in America,
right.
So that will suit a lot of the African nations. Egypt as well, it'll suit them. But Norway, England, Germany, they're going to Scotland. They're just going to suffer in the heat.
I agree with that, but with France, especially as of right now, which is, again, I don't know whether I don't know when the French players would have moved from France to America. I don't know if it would have been a few weeks before, a week before, whatever it may be. It is the similar temperature, especially if it's in New York. Obviously, I agree. If it changes place and it's like 30 degrees or close to 30 degrees, there's a disparity. But we saw with Belgium, especially how cool it was. It was like 18 degrees at the time. The temperature wasn't really. It was actually quite low. It was probably one of the lowest. And if we think about the countries which have played so far of what we've watched, it was probably the lowest temperature country. And yet it was a equal. I mean, maybe because Egypt has a horrible team, maybe, but it was an equalising. I'm not saying it's a horrible team because of the temperature, but in terms of if there is this idea of there being a disparity in performance based on country temperature, you'd think Egypt would have knocked Belgium out the park, but it was a 1-1 game. Yeah. So, how much is there really to? And obviously, either way, with this match, it's pretty much neck and neck with New York temperatures. So, I mean, there's also an argument. Sorry to interrupt, but you say they have the players versus the names. Would you not argue the names are coming from the fact that they have the players? Like these are like the names are the players. They don't have a name because they aren't good players.
Yeah, but I think people stargaze and automatically think if you play for Real Madrid that you're the best player on the planet, or if you play for PSG, the best player on the planet. And I think that's the problem. It's not so much. Here's another example. So, if you are, let's say, a goalkeeper, and you play for Man United, it doesn't really matter which country you're from. You're going to get called up to the national side because you're a high-profile player. So there are probably better French players not playing for Real Madrid, not playing for PSG, who haven't gone to the tournament because they're not playing for a big team. Whereas Senegal, they're picking the players that they can get their hands on, whereas France are picking Real Madrid, PSG, Arsenal. I know they're all winning, they're all winners or whatever else it might be. I just think that sometimes reputation. England have been fallen foul of this, where basically players will be picked because they play for Man United or Chelsea rather than being any good. And Tuchel, the England manager, he's thrown that book out the window for this tournament, and he's just picked players based on form.
Well, I mean, especially it being in America as well. I mean, this is probably the most. This is going to be the most farmed event Obviously because they've got their thing as well in America. I don't know, but it's going to be a farmed. I think the amount of adverts I've been seeing, the amount of high-profile people in these adverts I'm seeing, it's just a big old farm fest of people and attention, and it's just slop. And I wouldn't be surprised if there was don't get your best players, even if you do have access to a list of players and you categorically know that XYZ is better, but they don't have the name. They want the biggest player. Like America, if any, if they were allowed to interweave with FIFA, they are going to be wanting the biggest players. They just want the hype, realistically. And I'd do the same thing.
Yeah.
Because I need advertising. I need money. We need money. We're America. We've done all this stuff. We're spending a lot of money on this. We need money. Yeah. We need to sell these advertisement spots. So I'm not surprised in the slightest. I don't blame him.
Right. I am about to press start on our timer because on the screen I'm watching it at, we are just having a look at the VAR people. We're having a look at the match. They're about to, not necessarily going to kick off on time, according to what I've got.
Yeah, I'm on the VAR people now. I just saw the stadium, so maybe like a couple bits a bit behind. Not considerably, not as high, behind as we have been. Especially yesterday's stream was appalling. Oh no, here's a VAR people now. Yeah, maybe I'm like 30 seconds, 15, 20 seconds behind.
Yeah.
You see that guy getting in trouble at the VAR because he did the hand signal, which isn't.
He did that, didn't he?
Yeah, it's not a dog whistle or whatever people are saying. It's not a racist thing. It's completely pathetic. And they're trying to get this guy for literally nothing. Like, he didn't do a single thing. No. I might have done the same thing. It isn't. I mean, maybe it is used as a dog whistle in certain really niche, political communities. But I firsthand know it's not. It's just a thing. Oh, if you look at it, you get slapped or whatever. Like it's not a bad thing, but it's so soft.
I know.
Ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Right, I'm just waiting for the kickoff, and then we can get into it. You know what Didier Deschamps is the French manager. Do you know what his nickname was?
What?
He was called the Hod Carrier. You know the guy that carries around the bricks on a building site, the one who does all the hard work. That was his nickname. People didn't like him in the French side when he played. I think he still won the World Cup with. I'm sure he won the World Cup for France. Anyway, let's get ready. So now you've been traumatized by the first two games. Now not Morocco, sorry. Was it South Africa and Mexico, wasn't it? That was the first game we watched. That was a decent game. And then we've had
people pretend the cars in the camera. It's funny. You see that guy, the manager of Senegal, he's just like looking everywhere but the camera, trying to look as cool as possible. That's what's funny.
Yeah. Right. There we go. We have kicked off.
I haven't kicked off yet. They're huddled. Let's see. How far behind are I? I might be about 30 seconds, I'm going to guess. They're just going to the positions now. So maybe I'm about 30 seconds, 45. Yeah, what I think we need to do. Go on.
No, go on.
I was saying we need to figure out something to be able to do, like passively, or like I can do maybe. Oh, we've kicked off. Oh no, what's happened? What just happened?
He just launched it into the corner to try and push Senegal on the back foot. Honestly, this is not going to be as close as this is not going to be as one-sided as people are making out. And I know we've gone with France, and I know we've gone with Dembele, which obviously I gave you the casting vote, but I don't think it's going to be
not the wise thing to do, by the way. But
Senegal win the first corner within the first minute of the match. Great crossing, headed over the bar by the French defence. Senegal on the attack from the kickoff. Look at that, great crossing, cleared away. I think the other thing is this is going to be a way more attacking game of football than we have seen in the first two games that we've done live.
Yeah.
Right. My phone was nearly dead. I had to put it on charge. Right then. Corner to be taken. There's a bit of argy-bargy in the box.
I'm seeing it, yeah.
Short corner. Crossed in.
What second minute you on? What minute and second you on?
2 minutes and 10 seconds.
I'm 140. So yeah, about 30 seconds behind. Not bad. It's better than it has been.
How is that a free kick? He stood on his own player. A goalkeeper goes down in a football match in 2026 having been hit by a butterfly and it's a free kick to the goalkeeper. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
Absolutely ridiculous. Oh, you're about to see it.
What even happened? Yeah, I'm glad you get to see it. He didn't even touch him.
No, didn't even touch him.
He didn't even touch him.
But the way you can tell he didn't touch him is how quickly he got up after it. Like, had he broken his toe, he would have been like writhing around on the floor, would have understood. But literally, like, why is this not refreshing? There we go, 0-0. Right, I've got the.
I'm gonna see Danny and Sam Gosh. Moving to you.
Well, I'm hoping this is a better match than we have had in the past. Very high foot there. I'm telling you now, I can see Senegal nicking a goal. Ooh. Senegal.
They're good actors in Senegal.
They are. I'm just not a fan of this passing the ball around the back. It's what they're all doing. I know it's to try and draw out the opposition, but my God, it's boring. They pass it around, then they hit a 40-yard ball, which gives it straight back to the opposition.
Yeah, it's like pre-nerf Naganite.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I've got to put it in my terms, you know.
Oh, I missed the Mega Knight. What was he called? Mega Knight.
He's Mega Knight, yeah, and then Clash Royale. Gosh, I mean, it's not something we need to talk about because no one watching probably cares. But man, the way the game's got. I mean, it was going downhill when we started playing, and then we obviously stopped playing. It's just so predatory.
Yeah, I know.
Disgusting.
See, both teams have got more attacking intent than either of the four sides that we watched in the first games. I got a tweet today. So you know Polymarket?
Mm-hmm.
It's now plugged in to BC Game.
Really? That's pretty cool.
Yes, it is pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they had their own predictions markets, which they were trying to build. Senegal are through. Blocked by the French defence. Lost the ball. Again, that is what Senegal are going to do all game. There is a sharpness to them, which is why I think they're going to beat France. That wasn't a foul. Shoulder challenge. That's well over hit. Encouraging signs from the Senegalese in this match, I think.
That was a good push. I'm obviously 30 seconds behind. I've only just seen it.
Bang. I think the shoulder challenge is probably the only physical contact you can now have in a game of football.
Yeah, it's kind of overpowered because, like, you know, we're just watching that then, he's rushing in. You just push him onto the ball, and it's pretty hard for him to not get off the ball. And it goes, obviously, in this case, it didn't go out, but I could see that being pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, given that everything else that goes on, it's not bad.
Yeah. Like, surely, maybe, like, would you just not want rugby players to play like defense, and then like sprinters to play forward?
Yeah.
Because you could just like, if you can shoulder ball, because to what extent can you shoulder ball before it's like not on?
I think you can do whatever you want, really.
So you could just run into people.
Yeah. We've got a comment. We've got a few comments, actually. France, they think they're going to win. Hidden Agendas says France is going to win. And then Football Quiz has said Senegal look good.
Yeah.
They do. They do. I tell you, France are not all that. They're one of the better teams, which is fine, but they're not all that. They're not all that. This is one of the worst World Cups for quality I think we've had in decades.
It's quite unfortunate that it's my first proper, because I don't watch football, but I'm actually having to watch it. It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. Some of these games are going to be tough.
I think if you showed someone the Belgian-Egypt game and they never watched football in their lives, and this was your exemplar game, they would shun it away. They wouldn't care. I really wouldn't blame them.
By the way, if you are watching on YouTube, check the pinned comment. We are, of course, live across the world in many other locations with many other formats of streams.
Exactly. And if you don't have access to the game yourself, again, you know, what he said.
I don't care who it is if he plays American football. I could not give a monkey's who you're showing me in the crowd. Show me Pele. Well, you can't see Pele, he's dead, but show me somebody famous.
It'd be really sad. They just point to a random part of the ground and say Pele.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, just point to some grass.
I'm expecting something. Oh, do you know what? I've not told.
I don't know who that is.
I've not told Binance. I've not told Binance.
Everyone's probably busy watching anyway. And their homes. I'm really excited to see how France is going to be after this. You know what? Let me go on Twitter. Let me see if anything's happening right now.
Do you know what? That's what we did last night, and that was entertaining. Go to latest comments. That's what you need to go to.
What? Just World Cup or France?
No. Type in France, Senegal, and then instead of looking at top, look at latest, because it always gives you the latest, and they are funny. Oh, I've got a message. Let's just check this. Yeah, I forgot to tell. What's she called? Alicia. I forgot to tell her.
Some guy says 11 seconds ago, France 1, Senegal 2.
We are live with the World Cup on.
This is what I'm saying. This match is France against France or Senegal versus Senegal.
Yeah, that is true. Good evening, Mary. I'm doing a little experiment. I'm watching a knitting show without the sound and listening to you two. It's like listening to the radio. That's a good thing. That is a good thing.
Well, I mean, it depends what she thinks of radio, because you could say, oh yeah, it's like listening to radio, and radio is the worst thing in the world. You know, it's like, it depends on what her position on the radio is.
Exactly. I tell you what we can talk about. I tell you what we have got time to talk about, given that the game is really not settling down. What do you think of the ban on social media in Australia and the UK.
We need conversation, because if we don't conversate on something active, I'm going to start doing something else off screen. So the social media ban. I think it depends on what's being banned, right? So I know, is there a list? Let me go look it up.
There is a list.
Let me educate myself before I talk.
France are on the attack. France looks so poor. Is there a new football being used in this World Cup that's making it impossible to pass?
Essentially. So, before I give my opinion, I'll go through each social media and give a yes or no, if I agree. Does that sound good?
Now, just remember, a football match is 90 minutes long. We have half time. This is supposed to be a 5 to 15 minute conversation. Okay.
It won't even be that.
It's supposed to be two people in a bar having a conversation about it.
Brilliant.
Just your general thoughts. But start with which social medias you would ban.
What I'm going to do instead is look at what they have banned and say if I agree with their ban or not. Snapchat, yes. TikTok, yes. Instagram, yes. Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, yes. TikTok, it's more of a yes, but it's like I'm impartial. X, I think there's so much utility on X. Like there's not like Instagram, there's no utility. Facebook, there's no utility. Snapchat, there's no utility. These are utilityless social medias. If these are banned, it's probably a net positive if these are banned. TikTok, there's a lot of not utility, but there are some very good content creators, right? I'm sure there's good content creators elsewhere, but TikTok, I feel like it may be, it's not as dog whistly, it's not as it's not as horrible as some other places. Like Instagram is really bad. X, I semi disagree with, but I can understand what they're trying to do. The standard version of YouTube will be restricted. I do not agree with that in the slightest. At all. So YouTube Kids is exempt, so YouTube Kids is allowed, but standard YouTube is not allowed. That is complete and utter. I do not agree with that in the slightest. At all. Obviously, WhatsApp and Signal I'm not included. That's good. And that's pretty much it. So YouTube, so this is my concern. We actually had a little like 1 minute conversation yesterday about this. My main one was, is YouTube banned or not? If YouTube is banned, this is stupid. This is stupid. I do not agree in the slightest with YouTube being banned. What do you think?
Well, let me ask you some questions first, because obviously I'm an old fuddy-duddy, and the question I've got for you is, so according to some experts, I don't know whether they're real experts or tinfoil hat experts. So according to some experts, doom scrolling and consuming 45 to 60 seconds worth of information, like on a short, for example, apparently is not that good for your brain, especially when it's done over and over and over and over again. So, first of all, they claim that it changes your brain chemistry. So it's not necessarily that it's not necessarily what you're watching that's causing the problem. It's the manner in which you're consuming the information. So my first question is, if they're banning content which is because of the damage it's doing to the brain, that's one thing. If they're banning it because of the harm it's doing to kids, that's another thing. And if they're banning it because they can't control it, that's another thing. So what do you think the underlying reason is for this ban?
Well, I think I could see it being both, right? So, Snapchat. I mean, Snapchat. It realistically it doesn't. It kind of has a shorts-based. You know what? Let me check something before I answer that. This me going to do this right now will oh, never mind. I was going to go to YouTube Kids. I don't know if YouTube Kids has shorts. I actually have no idea. but I know there's YouTube Shorts which get uploaded to normal YouTube, which are kids-based stuff, which kids can see. So I think YouTube Shorts have, or YouTube Kids has Shorts, which kind of defeats the purpose of the idea that short-form content should be banned. I do think it leans onto. I think it leans onto the content. I think the content is what is their main focus, right? Because even though YouTube it doesn't allow for anything really wrong, it allows for political content, and some people might, and obviously some, if they want to ban a certain wing of political content, then YouTube would technically fall into that, right? Snapchat does have short form content. It has all sorts of content. So I think personally, it's more on the content side, right?
Okay.
And if it is obviously that, then I can agree. I don't agree with YouTube. I know, but obviously I do agree with what you said in terms of how it affects the brain. Obviously, it's like dopamine, right? So like, if it's something funny, you've consumed something funny, and within the next 7 seconds you consume something funny, and the dopamine keeps on getting, and then you just get this, like, you get worn out basically. And if you're constantly on short form content, and you've just basically constantly having dopamine for a solid few hours, you're just tired. You're completely tired, and it drains motivation. I can completely understand that. So I agree with that, but I think there's still short form content on YouTube Kids, and YouTube is probably the biggest platform, not only for everything. It's either YouTube, or you're using YouTube or using X, right? So I don't think it would be a very efficient ban if YouTube Kids was still there, which has short form content. It defeats the whole purpose, because everyone's going to go to YouTube Kids and consume shorts, which makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think my overriding problem is not that they're doing it. I don't think they're doing it for political reasons. Number one, I don't think it is. But the issue is, for me, they're banning something, which is fine. I think, you could probably weigh it up. In the UK, for example, this ban that Labour are bringing in, everyone's blaming Labour for it, but it was actually the Conservatives that were starting the process to do it, because these things don't just happen like that. They take years, okay? So this has been introduced by the Tories, who are on the right, and then the people on the left have gone, this is a good idea, and then they've implemented it. And Australia is the same, and I think it's happening in other places as well. Now, I suppose you've got to say, is it a net benefit, even if it catches some people, or sorry, not some people, even if it catches the wrong thing, is the general basis of it being done for the right reason? And I'd say the answer is yes. Like, if you're a 15-year-old, for example, and I do think this applies to girls more than it applies to boys, because they are more, self-conscious about appearance and stuff like that. I do think it applies to girls a bit more. I think it's a net benefit to do it. I've got a big problem with nanny states, with government saying you can't drink, you can't smoke, you can't do this, you can't do that. I'm not a fan of stuff like that. I think you should be able to live your own life. But these people are under 16. So I think there needs to be some safeguards. Now, I totally agree, YouTube should not be banned. Absolutely not in a million years should it be banned. And it should never have been on the list in the first place. But it is. And then you've got to say, well, Facebook, trash. Instagram, trash. Yeah. Okay, maybe there is a very particular reason that I can't remember, and maybe you can't find, that they've banned YouTube. But on the whole, I didn't want you spending time on social media when you were of the age you were. And when your school banned phones, I thought that was a really bloody good idea. So I haven't got a problem with it. I haven't got a problem with it at all. And I know everyone's going to try and use it as a stick to say the government's trying to bring in IDs and the government's trying to control you. I don't see that. If you've got a credit card, you can prove who you are with a credit card. Facial recognition, you can prove who you are. So it's not just a digital ID. But I think...
Yeah, I agree.
Go on.
No, you finished.
I'll say, I don't think it is some Big Brother thing that they're going to try and bring in digital IDs on this. I think they've tried, and the backlash has been ridiculous. I just think it's a good idea to stop kids from getting distracted. I think it's more to do with distraction. If you're trying to revise for your homework and you've got Instagram going off and Facebook going off, and you're not learning, are you? What are you learning if you're looking on one of these platforms? So maybe it's because of that. France are on the attack, and it's put behind for a corner to France. So I mean, I'm not that sad that it's banned.
No,
really.
I think just on the base level of what has been banned is is each and every social media being banned, net positive and net negative to be banned, and sum it all up. So I think the sum of the net positive or negative of each social media, I think is a good thing that it's banned, right? Because Snapchat is absolutely a hellhole of an application. Instagram is a hellhole of an application as well. I think Instagram's funny. I like using Instagram because it's funny. But it is a hellhole of to be real, it is a hellhole of an application. Facebook, I don't think anyone at my age or younger would ever use Facebook in their lives. So it's a bit of a waste of time. They should have just not bothered. But regardless, TikTok, I mean that is the worst one for because YouTube, it has YouTube Shorts. We have to go out your way to watch them. TikTok is just short form content. That's it. It's probably the worst one when it comes to brain activity and changing the way you think. So I think on the whole, I think YouTube one is complete idiocracy. But to be fair, if it was based on a political idea or they were banning these things for political reasons rather than attention or whatnot, they would ban Rumble, right? Because, for example, there's a guy called Nick Fuentes. He's probably one of the biggest streamers. And there's obviously a few ones. He's not the only one, but there's obviously plenty. But he's the one which comes to mind. He's on Rumble, right? So he streams on Rumble. You can go if there's no ban on Rumble, which I don't know if there is. Actually,
Andrew Tate is another one. Andrew Tate, he is on Rumble.
So Rumble is not banned in the slightest. So you can go on Rumble and watch the live streams. And you know what? It actually might be better for you watching his live streams rather than his shorts because at least you're not frying dopamine rather than politically. But I think I wouldn't ban YouTube. I think that's the biggest faux pas of the whole thing. That's because there's so much education. But on the flip side, you could mark your content as YouTube kids worthy. But that is from making content going forward. If you think about all the content we should.
Senegal have just gone straight through on goal. It's hit the goalkeeper. It's bobbled under the goalkeeper and rolled the wrong side of the post. And it may have actually, just give me 1 second, it may have actually hit the post. Oh, it's hit the back of his foot and rolled out. Oh, no, did that hit the post? It may have hit the post. That's the first bit of action we've had in 25 minutes.
12 minutes, yeah.
And do you know what else has happened? I don't remember seeing a drinks break.
No, but wasn't that like when did they do it last?
Well, they do it in every game.
No, I know, but like when did they do it? Like what time?
Oh,
was
it should have been like 22 minutes.
Right.
Unless I've been listening to you and not paying any attention.
No,
the drinks.
I've had it.
Drinks break.
Oh, there you go.
Hydration break. Sorry. What you were saying then?
I was about to finish, but I was just saying. What was I saying?
You were talking about Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes on Rumble, and you can watch.
The content. No. The YouTube content going forward, you can mark it as YouTube Kids, but all the content of the many years YouTube's been around, all the educative content, whatever the word is. I think they're not marked as YouTube Kids by default. So people would have to actively go out to mark it as YouTube Kids. So people under 16 can go watch it. So all the chemistry teachers would have to go through all their videos and mark it as YouTube Kids, which is a lot of effort. And maybe there's an automated system, I don't know, but it's a lot of effort. So it's a big negation because YouTube is massive for education. I was doing my economics A levels. I found tutors on YouTube to watch maths, Primrose Kitten. There's tons of content creators for everything. So for all that to be gone for people under 16 is a bit of a faff. No, I mean, I think in the
one of the issues, one of the other issues I've got is, what's he called now? Oh, the English guy, the Tommy Robinson. So Tommy Robinson is going to speak at Oxford University,
Right.
and it's a debate about immigration and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's a panel of people from the left and from the right, and it's at Oxford University, 600-year-old institution. And Oxford City Council have written to Oxford University in an open letter and said that, our community members are afraid and blah, 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 and this, that, and the other. And I think, where have we got to when you can't hear both sides of an argument?
Yeah.
And my issue...
people are afraid to go
exactly,
talk.
Exactly. And my issue is that this ban, which removes all social media, it removes media, it removes the news.
Exactly.
So if you're 16 years of age, you can't read the news, you can't read the press, because the press is controlled by the government.
Yeah.
You can't then read social media, and we all know, and this has been the case for decades, that schools are predominantly the teachers in schools are left-leaning. Same in America, same in the UK, teachers are left-leaning. So if you have teachers that are left-leaning, and you have a media that's left-leaning, and you have a TV left-leaning, there's no voice on the right, because it's been cut out, because they're banning it for various other reasons. So you're going to get to 16 and 17 years of age when you want to vote, but you don't have anything to base your vote on, because you can't read anything, because you don't have anything to read it on. So
Completely agree.
where can you...
Exactly. That was what I say. When I was listening through the social medias, I was on the fence about X because there is content on there. I mean, I think the thing is with X, right, is I know people say there's a lot of like right-wing extremism on X, whatever. But
I don't see it.
No, I don't know. This is the thing. For certain types of content, you have to really go out of your way to go find it. So X, it has it, and obviously I agree that there's maybe some there's certain parts of Twitter which are wrong. I think there's like an eating disorder part of Twitter which is wrong, and don't want to get kids involved in that sort of stuff. Yeah. So there is parts of it which are wrong, and I completely agree with. I think maybe you should have one social media which has that freedom, and you should really mandate for parents to actually give a crap about what the kids are doing on their phones, right? Because like you said, that's my main thing as well, which I think I forgot to mention, is you don't have that freedom to voice opinion on both right-wing ideas and left-wing ideas, which completely just funnels every single kid under 16 into a left-leaning ideology. Obviously, by the time it comes to voting, there's no one ever votes right.
But the issue... Oh, Senegal are on the attack, just outside the area, and he skews it wide. Senegal have come the closest to scoring. The thing is, and this is like what Trump is, not necessarily just Trump, but I think the administration is. What you can use to silence your opposition today can be used by your opposition to silence you tomorrow. And if you go down this route of censorship, it's going to be used against you. And the only way to not have it used against you is to not let anybody use it at all. So I am not saying that we should allow misinformation. Misinformation should be punishable. If you go on to social media and you put something up which is an AI-generated image which incites people to do things which shouldn't be done, that should be a punishable by offence. I get that. But if you do what you're doing now and you say, oh, we're doing it because of this, that and the other, well, the Tories can come in and unblock them and then maybe block Blue Sky or other left.
Blue Sky's not gone, is it? That's a good point. We mentioned that actually, yes, as well. X is gone. So it's like X and Blue Sky are the two-face of Gotham, the two-face of the world. You've got X, which realistically also, let's be real here, people say X is a right-wing leaning sort of platform. It's not. it just has freedom of speech, and and therefore allows for people with right-wing ideologies to comment and have a community. But it also allows people who have left-wing ideologies and left-wing community to also talk there. Blue Sky, if you're not left-wing, you get hung and gone and drawn and executed. So to allow for Blue Sky, which is the only place people, because kids are going to turn to other social medias. It's just what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I also would say that there's ways of bypassing face filters as well. I remember this with Roblox. They have their own. It's like a age restriction, and people bypassing it left, right, center. So I will say that it's not going to cover all of kids, but it'll cover most of them. But yeah, they will move to other platforms like Blue Sky.
Yeah, and again, the problem you've got, like, what was it we were watching? Oh, it's The Boys.
Yeah.
The way that the American administration was talking was like an amplified version of right-wing politics, wasn't it? Without repeating a lot of the things that were said, and we don't want to get down that route where we've got camps of people.
No,
but that's still a massively extreme version on the right. Also applies to the left. Anyone that tries to stop you from speaking is, and we can't say what we want to say for obvious reasons because we're streaming in a certain place, but they're both as bad as each other. But two wrongs don't make a right. So there has to be a balance. Now, banning social media to stop kids from messing around on it, and then allowing them to actually learn and revise for their exams and study unhindered is absolutely fine. But the voting age was 18. Yeah. And Labour have reduced it to 16. So you're going to have 16 and 17-year-olds that have no access to social media being asked to vote. And they don't have...
And they've not seen the world.
No, because
they only get to listen to what their teachers say.
Yeah. Now, in the UK, there are certain laws and rules which are centuries old, which basically means you have to allow people to make an informed decision when they vote, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes people break those laws and they get caught, and they, not get caught, but they break the law and they get told off. But the Labour government, and obviously the Tories as well, they've brought in a rule that technically is stopping somebody from being able to make an informed decision. Because where do councillors and MPs in today's world, where do they go for attention? They go to TikTok, they go to Facebook, I don't know about Instagram, and they go to X. Yeah. So they're all banned. So Labour and Conservative MPs and Reform and Green and all these kind of things, how do they talk to 16 and 17-year-olds when you can't talk to 16 and 17-year-olds? Are they going to have school visits? Are they going to allow MPs to go to schools? Because that also breaks a law.
Yeah.
When Labour went to a couple of schools a few weeks ago, that broke the law, because you can't do that. You're not allowed to have political lobbying within an education establishment in the UK. You can't do it. It's not allowed. You are allowed to have a debate with a Labour, a Tory, a Reform, and a Green Party member standing there. You are, but you're not allowed. You're not allowed somebody to walk in and say, you know what, they're really bad people, and we're the great guys. Come and vote for us.
Yeah.
So where do these kids get that informed decision from when you've blocked it all?
They don't. They either parrot their parents, or they oppose their parents.
Exactly.
And obviously, because there'll be kids and go and have it. It obviously depends what the ideology is. Maybe they hear left-leaning ideas and they disagree. But I mean, this is the thing. It's like when I think about, like, if I heard certain policies, whether it be economic or social, most of my basis, like someone's morals and basis, come from their education. I'm sure if you brought a kid up and taught them that violence is, you should be able to commit violence to anybody you want, no matter what cause is, and no matter what, they will believe that in their morals, without any other outside education. So a lot of my understanding of economics and social, I did business, GCSE, economics A level, and whatnot. Obviously, speaking to you and whatnot. So I have a basis in reality with economics and with business. Most kids don't have that. Most 16-year-olds doing their GCSEs don't do business studies or economics. So
Nope.
they don't understand, they don't really fully understand the grasp of certain, economic policy. Or they don't really understand what would happen to the economy if you let X, Y, Z amount of people in to a country, or if you give certain people benefits or more benefits. There is always consequences. So the less that these people are educated economically and how general adult economics works, they will just believe what you say.
Yeah.
And they think, oh, well, we can just give these people a bunch of stuff and it'll be really nice and everyone's going to be happy. Of course they're going to say yes to that because they believe that. They don't know the actual consequences of certain things. They'll go, oh, why can't we give everyone everything and then we can just live in this society where everyone gets everything for free, like a communist society, for example.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the biggest problem. So I think then that wasn't a bad 25-minute conversation.
No.
It's a good thing on the whole.
Yeah.
It's got holes that we found, but I think it's a net positive. I think the last thing I'll say, if they didn't let kids vote until they were 18, this would make sense because kids have then got 2 years of access to social media to educate themselves, and that's kind of fair. You shouldn't be saying to a 14. Yeah, I would. You can't say to a 14-year-old, who are you going to vote for in 4 years' time? They
probably won't even know who there is to vote about. Because I don't remember a single time, and I didn't have a horrible education. I had a very good education, and it was a very thorough education. And I don't really remember ever learning about modern day politics. In general studies, we never mentioned a single current leading politician. So I'm sure when they get to 14, if they haven't spoken to their parents really about it, I would guarantee I would probably guarantee a lot of children probably wouldn't even know how the system works or who there is running. They wouldn't even know. It's who are you going to vote for? They won't know any names. Because if no one talks to them about it, and school, from what I know anyway, doesn't really teach you about it, how are you ever going to learn? It doesn't make sense.
No, exactly.
Exactly.
Let's get rid of that. I'm just taking a screenshot and dropping it onto X.
Yeah, I mean, voting age of 18, unlock the social media at 16 would be good because people are then old enough to know better if they're 16, but also look at both sides of the stick and see what do they agree with and what they don't agree with personally, and obviously make a judgment from there.
Yeah, exactly. But all right, what we need to do is we'd have to think of a topic for the second half because so far nothing is happening in this match.
No, it's actually worse than Belgium and Egypt.
I know. You know what? I got my hopes up. But this is like when you want something for Christmas, and then Christmas Day comes around, and you're just not getting what you asked for. You're getting wooden Lego pieces.
Yeah, you want something for Christmas. You sneak downstairs the night before, and you see the outline shape of the present you want, and you're like, "Oh my god, it's here! It's here!" Wake up, it's a bike-shaped dog or something. It's something you didn't want. It's just not. It's just completely not what you wanted.
You think it's a football? It's actually a ball for a hamster that you don't have.
Right, exactly.
That's what it is. That was kind of a World Cup themed comment. Now then, if anybody is listening out there and you want to get involved, before we get to that, Danny's left a comment about it. Do you want me to read it out? You read it out then.
I'll read it out. Shall I read it? Okay. My problem with YouTube is that it's getting harder and harder for me to find content I'm interested in. The content is there, but the algorithm insists on podcasts, and the rest of the video material is hidden. Maybe it's just me getting odd. I agree with that, though. I really agree with that.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, I'm just saying. I don't think it is Danny. I think it is the actual algorithm. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. I think the issue of YouTube is it does seem like the algorithm is a bit porous. So maybe there is something on the back end, but also with the style of content which is produced on YouTube. Again, a lot of people are doing podcasts nowadays. So the ratio, it's not 100% podcast, but the ratio in which new content is provided to YouTube there's a larger margin of podcasts, which means on average the average video you're going to be watching is it's not just going to be 8 minutes or 10 minutes. It's going to be 25 minutes, right? Because people are making video essays nowadays as well. So the rate in which you can iterate over content is now a lot slower on YouTube. So to be able to click multiple videos and watch multiple things, it's hard. Like, for example, TikTok. You can spend an evening and go through four different generations of an algorithm. You can go through right wing. You can go from right wing to left wing ideologies in an hour. I guarantee it. If you just like the right things, because it's so fast to iterate. So I completely agree with that, though, Danny. Is they really have a poor algorithm, and it's very hard because once you're locked into a certain aspect, you just don't, unless you actively go and search for new YouTube content. Like if I search for certain tutorials and certain things, and I'm constantly consuming that content because I purposely go find it, you can't get out your own algorithm. You're in this echo chamber.
Free kick from France has been cleared by the Senegal defence. What I would say is, if we go back a few years, right? So let's say we go back about 3 years. YouTube used to give out pointers on what kind of content to make, how long to make it for, this kind of stuff, right? And they did a couple of things. They told you the optimal length of a video is 48 minutes. That was number one. And that was the optimum length of a video that would keep the attention long enough for so many adverts to be shown to the end user. Okay? Now, what people started to do was create 50-minute videos, which were massively time consuming, editing, you name it. It was just spending hours and hours and hours on making these videos. And then what happened was you had the advent of Spotify, and you had the advent of these podcasts.
Yeah, Joe Rogan. And then what happened was people put two and two together and went, if we can do a 48-minute podcast, but stick some cameras in the room and then just record it and just stick it on YouTube, we're going to be rich. And then suddenly you had, and the biggest catalyst for all of that was COVID, because everybody was locked in the house. Was it 200 or 600,000 podcasts started during COVID? It was an astronomical number. It was ridiculous. Fact check me on that. It was a big number. So what happened then was you had all these people go, right, okay, we've got a podcast, but let's stick a camera in the room and then just film it. And then every 2-bit, B-list, C-list, actually, if you can find out how many podcasts it was ridiculous. How many B-list celebrities, people from the 2000s, people from ex-band members who've got shocking discoveries. How many was it? It's bad. So there's two measurements. There's one from just 2020 and one from just 2020 to 2022, right? So from just 2020, it was 1 million and about 19,000.
That's it.
But from 2020 to 2022, it was about 2 million.
Yeah. I underestimated it. It was a ridiculous number. Everybody started podcasts, and then everybody started sticking cameras in the room because YouTube was the one that paid you the most for long form content. And now we've got podcast slop, pod slop, where, like I was saying, you just got these people. I don't care. I do not care.
Slopcast. That would actually be a goated.
Slopcast.
And just went nothing. Slopcast.
Yeah, I think we should. Because the people I listen to, the people that don't listen to, people that pop up, it's like reality TV stars talking to other reality TV stars. And I don't know if you saw Asmongold. He did the review of Ellen Page. Did you see that?
No.
So basically, there are these podcasters in America, and they're predominantly female, although I'm sure males exist as well. Predominantly females, the ones I've seen. And they get on these non-celebrities, like what's she called? The one who was married to Prince Harry, Meghan Markle. So the people like Meghan Markle appear on there, and then Ellen Page appear on there, and they'll sit there and they'll go, when I was 4 years old, I was taken up by a UFO and I had a tattoo of a triangle put on the back of my head, and it's still there, as you can see. And the podcast host will go, yeah. And it's like, what you doing? Don't you want to challenge them on that point? And Ellen was the same, and Meghan Markle is the same. I'm really in a rush, and I can't make food every day for my daughters because the 3 nannies have got to take my 2 children to school, and I've only got 3 hours to get ready, so I just make them jam. And the woman goes, wow, yeah, I mean, you're so hard. And it's like, what is that? What kind of slop is that?
That's not content.
It's like, it's 2 drunk men in a pub at 1 o'clock in the morning have more salient points than that trash. And it's not having a go at Meghan Markle or the podcast woman. They're very, very successful at what they do. But it's slop content. There's no educational content in what they're putting out. And I'm not saying everything has to be a lecture. You know, you listen to the football podcasts or the sporting people. I am sure Tiger Woods or Lewis Hamilton or tennis players, I'm sure they've got amazing anecdotes of what's gone on in life. Meghan Markle.
Yeah, you wouldn't pick Meghan Markle. Well, it's always the ones which actually have the stories are always too busy making the stories to actually tell the stories. So it's like,
exactly.
You get them when they're old.
That's a really, really good line. You've got to write that down.
Just made that up.
That is an absolute belter of a line. I like that. That's a great line. That. Sorry.
Yeah. Get people who were active like that, 1990s or 2000s, early 2000s, maybe pushing it. Get people who have had their time and then now can talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've seen some of them on some of those podcasts where you do get like a 60 or a 70-year-old ex-rocker who talks about the 60s or the 70s when they were with Bowie or they were with Tina Turner and, you know, something crazy happened, like they got absolutely smashed and got on a private jet and ended up in Cologne in Germany, and then they didn't sleep for 6 days and stuff like that. Yeah. And they're really cool stories.
And you know, tired or they've stopped doing it, and they've got all the time in the world, and they've got the best stories.
Yeah.
But it's like this, like especially like hearing the let's say the page one, it's like they don't have any stories to tell, so they make some up, or they just talk about their problems, or they talk about, or they start making up like things which are wrong with them, or things they want to change about themselves, because they don't really have anything beforehand, you know. Because Elliot Page, like before the whole thing happened, did like one movie. And it's like, that's it really. And then just died out.
But the thing is, obviously he wanted to do what he wanted to do, which is absolutely fine. But they were genuinely a fantastic they were a fantastic actress. Obviously they're not an actress now, they're an actor now. But they were a fantastic actress. And then, you know, I'm sure there were stories about let me just move that. I've just made a little half-time thing to appear on the screen when it is half-time.
I asked ChatGPT, after we finished talking about this, I asked ChatGPT, I've got a bazillion topics, and they're all pretty good, so we can go through them in a bit.
Exactly. I mean, I watched. Here's a really good question for you. This is a good question. This will take us into the half-time break. If you went back in time from today, and you went back to 1970, let's just pick an arbitrary date, at 1970, how would you prove that you were from the future? Okay, now, there's probably an awful lot of things that you could do. Oh, and Senegal have skied it in the last minute of injury time in the first half. Senegal have sent it straight over the bar. That should have been 1-0 Senegal.
So they haven't scored.
Over the bar.
I'm not surprised at your excitement at that, because nothing's happened for 50 minutes. It's nearly been an hour.
It's been 51 minutes. My back is killing me. My shoulders are killing me. Mary's fallen asleep watching the knitting. Danny's fallen asleep on his keyboard. I don't know who else is watching us. We've got Football Quiz hasn't sent us a message. They've fallen asleep. We're falling asleep and we're doing the stream.
We're doing the stream. You know what? Absolute. I really respect people who do football streams who and actually make it entertaining. Like United Stan guy. Obviously, I know he's got the chat to talk to, but there's always that period in streams where it's like you're actually a decent streamer, but there's not really anyone watching, and you've just got to sit there and watch the football, but you've got to make it entertaining. It's just like it's like I really respect those niche like numbered set people where it's like
Exactly.
this is hard because this is boring
Yeah.
as hell. And obviously, I'm not the biggest football guy, but this is pretty naff. Like, really, really naff.
Well, I tell you what, okay. In that first half, there's been one shot on target in 50 minutes, okay? This is not standard football. If we were watching Man United now and Man City, it would be way more exciting than this. The crowd would be more excited. There'd be more chances on goal, all that kind of stuff.
You said that about Belgium and Egypt.
Yeah, but football, sorry, not football. Football Quiz has said this is bad. Absolutely. Yeah. Right, let me go into my question, my half-time question for you then. I'm going to give you 2 questions. We've got 15 minutes to get through these 2 questions.
Watch.
So I don't want philosophy 101. Do you want to hear both the questions first, or do you want to hear the first question? First question first. Okay. You travel back to 1970 from today. So,
right,
you've got an invisible time machine that leaves no proof or evidence that it ever existed. But you, with your mind, can make it reappear and immediately teleport you back to present day. Okay? So you've got basically something you can click your fingers and go back in time, click your fingers that come forward in time, and nobody else can see it. You go back to 1970, 1980, whatever year you decide, how do you prove to the population of Earth in 1980 that you are from the future? That's the first question.
Okay, I've got a few questions then. What do I have? Do I have anything on me when I've gone back?
You're naked.
Items. No. Okay, well, okay. How many times can I go forward and backwards? Is it only I go back once, I go forward once? To go back? Okay. So I've got nothing on me, so I've got to know something. And so how long do I have to say something? Like, can I just go, oh, by the way, in 5 years, this band's going to come out and it's going to rock your socks? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, how do they know?
You can go back for an indefinite period of time, but you will age while you were there at the same rate you age today. So you go back in time.
Okay, so I've got to know something which happens within like a year or like quite soon. So what date? When have I gone back? Can you know?
You don't know the date you're going to arrive in the past. You're missing the point of the question.
Fine. If this is the template rather than an answer, a template answer rather than a definite, I will say something which happens within 6 months.
Okay. Now, you don't know what date you're going to appear in the past. So how do you know what's going to happen in that period of time?
I'm just going to have to hope I know something.
Okay. Next question, which a lot of people find harder, but I find a lot easier. You go forward in time, into the future. How do you prove you are from the past? Now, I found this a whole lot easier. A whole lot easier than the going back in time one, because the going back in time one, like you said, it's hard because you have to know what's going to happen in that time frame. If I went back to 1970 tomorrow, it would take me years to have any idea of what happened, because you might say, oh, something happened in 1972 actually happened in 1976. You're 6 years out, whatever it might be. So it's difficult. But if you go forward in time from today, how would you prove you are from the past?
Right, so I've got to go forward a decent margin, otherwise it's just me living life.
40 years. You've gone forward 40 years.
I've just lived life then. I'd go for a lie detector test and make them ask me questions which happened of the history which I wasn't there for. And then I would say I don't know, and the lie detectors were like, this guy really doesn't know.
Okay.
I know I could be in a coma, but there's not really much difference between this and a coma.
There is. Kind of. Because if you are 21 years of age and you're trying to say that you're from the past, 60 years or 40 years in the past. You're not going to be in a coma for 40 years because you're 21 years of age. You've got the body of a 21-year-old. So clearly that wouldn't stack up.
Well, that's fine.
Could you, what could you tell them about today that would make them think or make them believe you are from the past?
Well, I can't really talk about current day politics because I could have just looked that up. Mostly anything, especially in there. But you have to think about this, right? How advanced is search? How advanced has information gathering and search engines advanced in 60 years? Because if it has to be like a fine detail, I've got to tell them. No. I'm answering.
You're picking apart the question. You did it with the last question, and you're doing it with this question. You are not thinking of an answer. You're dissecting the question.
I would make
not
them
the same thing.
I would make them. Okay, fine. I would make them ask me questions. I'm 21. I'd make them ask me questions about the current day, and I'd make them ask questions of the last 10 years between then. Because if I'm 20, I would have lived the period in which that would have happened. I wouldn't know, and they would be able to tell that I'm not lying. And they would ask me questions about Monday, and I'll be able to answer it. That's all I can really think of.
Okay. So, let me give you some of the ideas that these people came up with. Actually, I'll go one better. I'll go one better than that. Bear with me. Because I found going forward in time a lot easier than going back in time, because this is what I would do. First of all, there are not likely to be telephone numbers in the future. 40, 50, 60 years in the future, there wouldn't be a telephone number. So I would give them the telephone number or the mobile phone number of somebody I know from today. Okay? Now, you can say, and again, missing the point, you can say, oh, well, that's easy. Just look on a search engine and look it up, and then that would prove that you just use a search engine to find that information out. It's missing the point. The point of it is a piece of information that's in your head. You're found in a crater, covered in smoke, and you're naked, and they drag you out and say, who are you? And you say, I don't know where I am, when is it? And they say, it's 2066. So they find you in a crater, right? I'm just trying to help you out here. So you don't
if I'm
dissect the
smoking in
question.
a crater, I think they have more propensity to believe what I say than not believe me. If I'm just a random guy and go, by the way, I'm from 6 years ago, they think I'm a crazy guy. So you've made it a bit easier then in that case, because I'll just say, oh yeah, I would just say I'm from 2026, or whatever. That's I'm over 2026. They probably believe me.
What piece of information that's in your head right now could you give them that you know that would convince them that you are from 2026? That's the question.
Okay. They're gonna put SpaceX is gonna put satellites in the sky and put AI in them.
Right. Okay. So, are you ready for this?
Go.
Now, I also had one if I knew that I was going to jump forward 20 years into the future. And that would be this. I would go and steal a stealable relic from today.
Whoa,
So
wait, we're doing things now. Wait, so I thought it had to be information. Now we've done something.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, if you're going to go forward in time, you can give them telephone numbers. You can give them dates and events of things that have happened that probably won't be documented in 2026, that they may be able to go back and verify. You can give them scores. So if you played for your school team in an event, you could say, in 2019, I appeared on TV on this date, stuff like that. So there's loads of things that are personal to you that you could give them that they may be able to find as proof.
Even then
what? Even then what?
Well, the thing is, right, I think the best thing would be to get a recording of me, which is labeled 20 whatever, which shows I'm clearly the same age. That's the best you've got in terms of data.
See, you're in an odd situation, because you could say, would you mind going back to June what are we today? Is it 18th today? 16th. You can go back to June the 8th, June the 16th. June the 16th, 2026. Go to the YouTube archive from 40 years ago, and you will see me here talking on a stream about France and Senegal. Yeah. So that you're in a slightly different situation, because most people won't have that.
But I'm trying to think of information. I really don't think there is information. There really isn't anything. I think the only thing you can really do is that is there has to be photographic proof of you looking a certain way 40 years ago.
Your mobile phone number.
How is that? How does that prove anything?
Because they won't have mobile phone numbers. They won't have telephone numbers 40 years into the future.
They might do.
I guarantee they will not. It is blatantly obvious we're not going to have telephone numbers.
So here we go. Right, ready? I'm the person you're talking to say otherwise. Okay, so you've looked. You've gone back 40 years and you've looked up a number. Okay, what does that prove?
I'm in a crater covered in smoke and I've got no clothes on.
No, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Random number out of my head.
No, because if I saw a guy in a crater smoking and he says from 8 years ago, I'd probably believe him, because he's in a crater smoking. He's fallen out of the sky. I'm going to believe probably what he says. You can't do it. Just we're in a room. There's no information I have other than we're in a room together. You've looked that number up.
I'm in a room that I can't escape, and I've given you. I could give you countless telephone numbers of people. I could give you telephone numbers in the UK. I'll give you postcodes.
You've memorised them.
Okay, right. You're just going to say you looked that up to everything that comes out of my mouth.
Yes, I am.
But
because what you're doing,
you're missing the point of both of the questions again, because you are going to the outliers and the whatabouteries on both of the questions.
No.
Okay, you are. Because whatever I say, you're going to say, well, you can't fundamentally prove to me in the past that you're from the future.
You need categorical proof.
I'm talking about, this was supposed to be a 15-minute bit of fun.
Yeah, and you've given me questions.
No, where you could think...
filled questions.
Where you could think of things off the top of your head that you could tell somebody in the future that you're from the past, and instead you've turned it into CSI Brogan, where you are going to scientifically dissect everything that's said and say, well, you could say you looked that up on the internet to everything I say, okay? But where's the fun in that? Where's the joy and the fun in having a bit of fun when everything you say is, oh, you could have just looked that up? I'm naked in a room with no access to the internet. You can ask me any question about my 40, 50 odd years on planet Earth, and I will give you an answer. And you will say, oh, well, you looked it up and memorized it before you came into the room. So how do we get past that?
We need better categorical proof.
Better categorical proof that I can give you my entire life history. I could say to you, I had an operation on my eye on the 11th of December 2025, and you'll still say, yeah, you didn't know because you looked that up. So what could I give you? Because you will not believe anything I say.
Well, this is the problem, right? So
it's not a problem.
No. Here. That scenario of the eye, we could look at your eye and see that there's evidence that you had surgery, but it doesn't mean you had the surgery. Even if it is right, 2018, right?
Even though there'd be a public record from 2025, December the 11th, 2025.
There we go. Public record. Categorical proof.
Of what? That I looked it up before. Something. That I looked it up before I came in the room. Is it a public record? It's a public record.
So you found someone called Mike Fitzgerald, and he just so happened to also have eye surgery.
With my exact retina on record.
If that's on record, then that's the difference then. If that's on record, then I would agree. But I don't know if that's on record. All I would expect on record is like, oh yeah, he had surgery. So you go, okay. So
The match
you
has
found Michael
started.
Fitzgerald.
The match has started. You know what? That is the last time I ever ask you a literal question. It's impossible. You should answer it in the spirit that it is asked.
I did.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. How can I prove that? I don't have that. I have nothing. I've got nothing to bring. I've got nothing to do. You have. You've got your entire 21 years of life on this planet with records of your A-levels, of your GCSEs, of your attendance at school, of visits to hospital, of x-rays that were taken of your head when you were 11 years of age in Spain. All of those things exist to prove that you are that person at that time in that place. So that could prove to somebody in the future that you were from there, because you could say, I went to this hospital when I was this age and I had this happen. And then you can't just turn around and say, oh, well, you just looked it up. That's not
what you on the YouTube records.
How are we ever going to be able to have a podcast when everything is so literal?
Because it's a question which has a lot of. If we're actually really truthfully answering this question, it needs to be truthful.
It doesn't need to be truthful. It's an anecdotal question at
and if
half
that
time.
is then okay.
But I told you that when I told you the questions. I said this is a bit of fun. You go back 30, 40 years to 1970, 1980. What would you be able to tell them to prove you from the past? And then the same going forward 40 years into the future. How would you prove that you were from the past? Oh, sorry, you were from the future and now you're from the past. And then it's a case of, well, what have I got with me? Well, no. Just think of things in your head that you could say, I think 1980, what happened? 1981, Argentina tries to invade the Falkland Islands. So we just need to sit here for 9 months and wait to see if Argentina invades England. That's about the only thing I can remember from 1980.
I'd have a tough time, I'm not going to lie. I'd have to wait to 2008.
I think Spurs won the World Cup. No, Spurs won the FA Cup in 1981. I think.
Oh, no, I can wait till World Trade Center. I can wait till 9/11. I suppose.
9/11.
I don't really
know
know
what though. If you said 9/11, you are never leaving prison.
No,
you're going to be there forever.
You said I clip my fingers and go back.
Yeah, you'd have to click your fingers. No, they'd tie your hands up. They'd tie your hands up.
I can still do that though.
If you said, what is it? Was it the 11th?
Was it
11th of September? It was 9/11. So it's 11th of September. 11th of September. No, 11th of September 2001.
Oh, so 2001. I was confused.
Yeah.
So I'd have to wait a good time.
Yeah, you could, but that.
I'm sure it's different though. If I really thought about it.
That would be good, but you'd have to think of a memorable event that hasn't happened yet, and there aren't that. I mean, it depends if you had half an hour. If you had half an hour, so let's say a genie appeared in the corner and said, "Listen, you're going back to 1980 in half an hour. You've got half an hour to find proof of the stuff that's gone on to prove to them that you're from the future."
What I'd do, I'd get another guy and I'd sit him down. I don't really know when bands formed and when they started to form. I just go, do you know who the Beatles are? Do you know who Oasis are? Do you know who AC/DC is? And I'll just try and find one, because I can't remember when they started, but I'll just find someone and go, okay, well, these are going to be the biggest band in the world. The Beatles. You don't know who they are? They're going to be the biggest one.
You've never watched that film about the Beatles, have you? What
Probably not.
Called? No, wait. No, I've got to say about this. This is not a million miles away from the two questions I've asked you. Right, hang on. Now, the film about the Beatles having... Right, listen to this. Right, this might sound like an utterly garbage film, and I will buy into that, except I've watched it. It is called Yesterday. Okay?
Yesterday.
So, it was written by Richard Curtis, who did Love Actually and Notting Hill. That'll put you off immediately. It was directed by Danny Boyle, who did Trainspotting and Slumdog Millionaire. So you've got a good writer and a good director. It's about a guy called Jack Malik, a mysterious global blackout and a bus accident. He hit a bus at the exact moment of the blackout, he wakes up in an alternative reality where the Beatles never existed and he was the only person that remembers them. So what he did was he went on a tour as himself, performing Beatles songs to the entire world. He became bigger than Taylor Swift, and he became this huge mega global superstar because the Beatles never existed.
How
and
did
it was
he, how
called
did he,
Yesterday.
I know I'm getting pedantic. How did he remember
No,
like the chords? Like, how did he remember the chords, the BPM, and?
Because he was a musician, so he knew them off by heart. He just knew the songs. He knew the chords.
So he
knew
practiced them and okay, right.
Yeah.
So
So
like a random
basically,
guy who like knew the Beatles and thought, I'm going to try this.
no, it was like what's the guy with ginger hair?
Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran. It was like him, in a pub, strumming along. Like I think he was in a band. Maybe he was in a band, or maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was just a busker or whatever. But he knew all of their songs. Okay, he was a massive Beatles fan, and he was crap, basically.
Right.
And he just became this global star overnight. And I think there's somebody famous in the film with him. Who was in it with him? I think it was on Netflix as well. The Beatles allowed the film, because they liked it, the Beatles allowed the film to use their music in it because it had no budget. Here we go. I knew he was in it. Ed Sheeran was in it. Ed Sheeran performed on stage with him and told him how great the Beatles were. Ed Sheeran's really funny in it. Who else is in it? Lily James is in it. Lily James, I think she's been in Star Wars. Oh! At least just for the chance, yeah.
So we've got government and society, economics, future politics, and we've got technology. We've got AI, privacy and security, social media, innovation. And then we've got one where it's like topics that are the most engaging. Which one do you want a political one? Do you want technology? Do you want the general?
Have you got anything that might be entertaining?
Entertaining
that doesn't involve politics or crypto or AI, anything that's not what we normally talk about that kind of stuff, don't we? Was
gaming,
that you groaning or are you burping?
Groaning. Fun and chaotic. I hate when they use that word. Luck matters more than talent. Money can buy happiness. The world would be better with one global government.
Oof.
Hot dogs are sandwiches. Cereal is soup. Voting should require a civics test. Government of silence you froze on as you went and froze.
I don't believe the answer to the university's woes is stopping stupid people for voting, because voting should be a right. I think the only people who shouldn't be allowed to vote are people who have committed atrocities. So if you're a burglar, if you go around burgling or stealing cars and stuff like that, I still think you should be allowed to vote. If that makes sense, because it should be a basic human right. Because again, go back to that thing of what's the worst thing your enemy could do if they were in power. So if you start banning people because of what? Civic tests, or what? So let's say they don't do a civic test. What about a nationality test? So let's say they say, right, okay, we're going to ban you if you don't pass the nationality test or whatever. And then suddenly
that's a bit far.
Yeah. But that's the point. It's like you can't just. You know what it's like, don't you? When a government, it just gets its little tiny kind of like pinprick in, and then it just slowly starts to wedge something open. You don't want to bring anything in that gives a government an opportunity to do something that isn't going to benefit everybody. So I'm not for that. What do you think?
I could definitely I could see the benefit. I think there should be something. I think. Well, okay, actually. What would a civics test negate against, right? It would negate against people who. It obviously depends on the test, but let's say it's a maths test. I don't know. What would actually be on the test? I suppose that will kind of determine what I think.
Would.
What is this civics test? Is it an economics test where it's like you do know basic economic ideas? Civics test is an oral exam. There's a 2025 test. 2025. So let's see what's on this.
Oh, France should have scored. Go on. What's on the test?
Let's see.
This has gone end to end, by the way. France have had chances. Senegal have had chances. We've had more chances in the last 5 minutes than we've had in the last 3 games.
Oh, it's about America, like the US, like the Constitution. I don't know that. Civics test. That's fine stuff. It's all American stuff. I can't really. It's just like, what does the Constitution like? Constitution, what does it do? And it's just what naff. If that's what it is, where do you know the country? I don't know. I think a lot of like 16, 18-year-olds would be void. Like they get it wrong probably. It's just a bunch of crapness. If that's what a civic test is, there's no point. It really isn't any point. It's not doing anyone any favors. It's really not getting people out of like. You need people who understand the consequences of the actions of the person they're voting in. That's what you need to figure out. Because if you're voting willy-nilly, and a lot of people might not vote willy-nilly, or they're voting off of what other people think, and it's a hive mentality, that could lead to there being a large margin of a hive group which are thinking for the wrong reasons. So I think there would have to be a test which in whatever way signifies that this person understands basic economics and
You know what? I've got an idea.
overseas socialness.
If I ring the bell, you have to pause. The French have burst into the penalty area and Mbappe has gone down in the penalty area and he hasn't taken the ball. That is a penalty to France if it goes to VAR. He took his foot. It's a penalty.
Killed him.
That's a penalty. I didn't see what normally happens. If it had slid in and the ball had changed direction, it would have been a corner. I think this is going to go to VAR, surely.
Did they just take him out?
I don't think he...
They just
Basically,
took him out.
it's possible he did, but if he took him out, but also clipped the ball, it's a corner because he got the ball.
Okay.
But if he doesn't touch the ball, if that ball doesn't change direction, it's a penalty.
Right. What if he
So
hits
now
it
we
but
need-
he stays in the same direction?
It won't normally do that. It'll normally veer direction, and if it doesn't change direction, or speed or anything,
There's not really much point of a tackle then.
hang on. This could be.
Are you able to save your reaction for the stream, or are you going to react? Because I'm about 30 seconds behind. I'm on 58.44. What are you on?
59.22. So what are we? We're about 30 seconds apart. Here we go. The referee is going to check for a potential penalty to France. Mbappe in the penalty area, brought down by Sane. Does he touch the ball? Oh, he doesn't. It's Mbappe. I don't know if he touches the ball. I think it's a penalty. It's a penalty. He doesn't touch the ball. Doesn't get the ball. Thank you, Alan. Penalty. He's going to give a penalty. I'm on the side. I'm on the side here of Alan Shearer. See, at least we've got something exciting to watch as well as our conversation. Now this is what the stream. This is what it's about. We have our conversations on the side.
Question after this. I want to skip over the Civics one. It's a bit naff. Gaming peaked before 2020.
Oh, that's a good question.
So we'll answer that after this ordeal occurs.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. No penalty? How is that not a penalty? It's a penalty. He doesn't touch the ball. He takes the player out.
So he must have touched the ball then, because you're not allowed to give a penalty unless.
I think I think what the referee is saying is that Mbappe threw himself into the player to make it look like a penalty.
Let's see.
So basically,
no, he didn't.
No, he didn't. Exactly, he didn't. He was taken out by the defender. It's a penalty.
I think somebody's got a bet on Senegal winning, and they might be on the pitch, because there's no way. He just put his arm out. He didn't move, and he was running in a straight line with the ball, and his. Don't matter. What do I know?
Well, as much as everybody else, this is the good thing about football, right? Is you can have your own opinion, and whatever that opinion is, it's your opinion. It's a little bit like music. It's subjective, yeah.
Right.
So if you said to me, I think Mbappe has had a crap game, and I'd say, I think he's had a brilliant game. Why do you think he's had a crap game, right? I wouldn't sit here and say, you don't know what you're talking about. That's ridiculous. I'd say, why do you think he's had a bad game? And you would say, he's done nothing for 60 minutes. Nearly winning a penalty doesn't mean he's had a good game. And I'd say, he's run the channels really well, though. So I still think he could have a good game, and you could still think he's had a bad game, and we'd both have our own opinion. That is the most important thing about football. Now, if you said to me something factual, like Chelsea, the best football club in the UK, and they have been for the last 80 years, you could use the trophies and the leagues and everything else to say, well, actually, Chelsea aren't the best team in the league because City are better than them, Arsenal are better than them, United are better than them because they've all won these different trophies. But again, if you were a Chelsea fan, you'd still argue the point, which is fine. It's subjective.
Yeah.
Let's see. We have a comment from Julian. Should we see what Julian's had to say? You're going to disappear off the screen if I do that.
Let's see.
Julian has said, not a penalty for me, didn't touch him. And it's the Ninja Turtle and his French play on.
He didn't touch him, but he literally, I don't know, he literally got his leg. If he didn't touch him, there wouldn't be a VAR.
I tell you what, right, if this was 1988, that's not a penalty, right? It's 2026. People are being sent off for rubbing the opposition player's hair. That's a penalty. Senegal are in the penalty area. He's been bouldered over. And that is a goal kick to France. Oh. It's all kicking off in this match. If you are new to Crypto Warehouse, we are not Crypto Warehouse for the World Cup. We are Crypto FIFA 26 for the World Cup. We are No, we're not Football
Warehouse.
We're Crypto FIFA 26.
Football shoe pitch. Football shoe house. Football pitch. Football. No.
We're
football pitch.
We're crypto football.
Crypto football pitch.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Give me 1 second. Right. Okay. You asked a question.
The question was, gaming peaked before 2020. So basically, 2020 onwards, gaming has had a large decline. That is the question. What do you think about that?
I think the problem is you've got recency bias and you've also got rose-tinted spectacles. So what I mean by that is that if you said to Julian or me, when was the best era of football, we would say probably the 1990s and maybe up to 2010. That 20-year period is the best period in football. If you said to me, when was the best period? And it's a goal for France! France have scored. It's 1-0. They cut the Senegalese defence open like it was a cheesecake, and it was stroked home by the French attacker. Was that Elise? I didn't see who scored.
Hinging them. There's the
Now,
goal. Perfect.
What do you need to
So
do?
Oh, yeah.
What do you need to do?
We have the slowest data in football. You want sub millisecond latency for your trades? No. We have about a minute. We've got 30 seconds on the stream. We've got about a minute for me to realise that the goal's actually gone through, even though it's on the screen. Got about a minute 30. So what I want to do with the game, though, I know you were just talking. Actually, no. Do you want to finish? You should probably finish.
Yeah, I would say whatever we say, we've got to take it with rose-tinted spectacles. Here's a good idea, right? Because obviously, I'm going to agree and say gaming peaked because gaming focused on gameplay, and then it started to focus on graphics. That's what I would say.
I want to put a clause in. We should look between 2020 and 2026, and 2020 and 2014. /2013, like 2020, 2026 to like forward, backwards. We should look at 2020 to 2014, 2013ish, right? That's what I think we should do. So we go 6 years back, 6 years forward. So we have equal time.
Oh, it's a goal! And he's offside! What a screamer! Watch this.
All right.
Watch this.
Is it France again, or was it Senegal?
Oh, what a strike into the roof of the net. Bosch take that over the keeper's head, blew the keeper away, offside, stays. France 1, Senegal 0. But what a strike. And that is what Senegal can do. All they've got to do is get them. Now, it's the hydration break. You've got 3 minutes. Hit me.
All right, so 2020, we show again, go from 2014, 2013 to 2020, and 2020 to 2026. Do you want to give your opinion, or should I give mine? I agree with you. Should we give our reasons, like a quick reason why each, minute 30 each, something, hydration break?
Like you know more about this topic than I do, so you go first.
All right, I'm gonna pull out my wild card. It's gonna blow the socks off. I'm gonna end this argument. I'm gonna end my argument before it's even started. Ready? Are you ready for this? GTA 5. All right, so I've already won, even though we agree. I'm also gonna pull out my second wild card. Mixtape trailer. I don't know if you saw this on Twitter. People were fuming about it, and that was as of late. It's probably one of the worst games I've ever seen in my life. I think not only has there been a downfall. Sorry, I'm passionate. There's not only been a downfall of games. There's been a downfall of game reviewer raters. That I think has been even worse than game downfall. It's the people who don't know how to play games, playing games to review them, giving Mixtape a 10 out of 10 because it's basically just a 2-hour-long playlist of different songs from the 80s, and it costs them millions to do. And they can't play Cuphead. They can't even get past the tutorial. They give it a 2 out of 10 because they can't play the game. We need gamers playing games and reviewing them. We don't need people who write articles. There you go. I'm done.
So that sounds an awful lot like a pitch for a new channel.
Gamers reviewing games. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's IGN. It's just like women and article writers playing. They don't play games.
No.
Mixtape a 10.
I think the reason Asmongold has got as big as he's got is simply because he says what he wants.
It's real.
Exactly. And that is the only reason. Because I watch him, and I don't like his delivery. I don't like his setup. I don't like a lot of his takes because I think he's quite insular. But when it comes to talking about games, he knows everything. He's
in it for the love of the game.
Exactly.
He gives his opinions. He's not streaming for the money. He lives in the same house, eats the same things in the same setup the whole time.
Exactly.
Maybe he upgrades his computer every now and then because to play more games. Yeah. He's in it for the love of it, and that's what I respect about him.
Exactly. Now, what I would say is, we reached a period of time, and I'm going to keep this quick. We reached a period of time where we had the processing capabilities to create the types of games we wanted to create. So we were no longer limited by the limitations of making games. So what we did was we had a raft of really good ideas for games, first-person shooters, whatever it might be, racing, whatever, and we made a load of games that sold millions. And then what happened was Men in Suits came in and went, we really like this idea, make another one, make another one, make another one, make another one. And what happened was gaming studios became checkbooks, and they would basically rehash the same thing. Why have we not moved on from Call of Duty? How many Call of Duties have there been?
I don't even
10?
know. I don't even
20? Right. So I think gaming went from passion to profit in that period of time. And I don't think it's the fact that I don't think we lost the gamers. The gamers are already there. I
They
think
just
what
went
we did,
to the games which respected them.
yeah. So, and the other thing is, you can blame girls, you can blame, gay developers, you can blame women, female developers, you can do all of that. But it's the men in suits that make the decisions. And if the men in suits want to appeal to the entire audience of straight men, straight women, gays and lesbians, and whatever else might be, then they're going to say, right, take all of this out of the game because we want it to be fully inclusive, because we want that extra 3%.
Yeah.
And then they've ruined everything, because you should have a game full of foul and abusive, not wrongly abusive, but foul and abusive language, and it should be as inclusive for everybody. They should have inclusivity for everybody. Not let's take everything out of the game, let's sanitize it, and let's make it crap, and let's put a wizard in a wheelchair.
There should be boy games, girl games, and games in between, like the middle games where everyone can play.
Yeah, or have. In my day, you had game difficulty, where you would have a game, you could play it on hard mode or whatever it was called, the final mode, I can't remember what we used to call it, and then easy mode, right?
Nightmare mode, whatever.
You could have a game that is basically, are you this type of person? Yes. Are you this type of person? Yes. Right. We're now going to make a game that is, or we're now going to play the game for you that's suited to you. So maybe it's got the Pride flag draped on one of the cars, because I am a big fan of Pride. Let it happen. And if you're not a fan of Pride, it doesn't appear. We're talking about sanitization of games from 2020. That's what I think's happened. And I do believe, still to this day, that people can make the most amazing games if you just leave them alone and you tell them, you go and make that game and make it the best game possible. And also, by the way, you are the person in charge of the LGBTQ elements for those types of players. You make it as fun and exciting for them as possible, and they're going to make it as fun and exciting as possible for 20-year-old lads, and you can do it for 20-year-old girls. Off you go. Yeah. Ta-ta. And that's all they had to do.
There should be an MMO for girls, MMO for boys. There should be a COD for girls, a COD for boys. There should be a story game for girls, story game for boys. Not segregation where you're not allowed to play it if you're not a girl, but there should be things catered to women, which men just simply don't want to play. And there should be overt design choices and advertisement for that. All right, it shouldn't be a game where you go around killing a bunch of women. It shouldn't be a game where you go around killing a bunch of men and you're a woman. It shouldn't be like a political game, but it should be a thing where it's like it's overtly for women, right?
Yeah.
And women go gravitate towards that and they play it. There should be overt things for men, and there should be things where it's just a general MMO where there's there's not this body type naff stuff, but it's like you can be man, woman, and then whatever fantasy thing you got going on. And that should be how it is. It shouldn't be everyone's mushed together, because no one's happy.
No one's happy. Who wants to play a game that's been sanitized? Where's the edge? Where's the fun? And that's the thing. They make so we should move on to another point, because I think we've done quite well.
I've got another one. I've asked for more game-based ones.
I think basically we peaked because we went from passion to profit. That's my final point on it. Yeah. What's the next one?
Is realism making games less fun? Or does realism in a game make it less fun? Does realism make a game less fun?
No. I don't think it's the realism that's making the games less fun. What I would say, though, is I would say that if you like anime or cartoons or steampunk type games, horror games, for example, then I don't see the point in realism.
Yeah,
I think realism. I think
is the problem.
Yeah, I think escapism should be the number one goal.
Yes.
And how you create escapism is it. You think about, so Resident Evil back in the day tried to go for hyper-realistic characters. The faces. I don't know how many years ago that was, 10, 15 years ago. The characters were hyper-realistic. A lot of the Japanese games, hyper-realistic. It didn't really detract from the game because you still had jump scares everywhere. But you still had monsters who were 15, or maybe not 15, 8 to 10 foot tall with 6 arms try to rip your head off. So I think it's got its place, but I think escapism should always be the goal. Anyway, that's what I think. So I think. What do you think?
I think people can find escapism in anything. I think my problem is misused realism, where a game which has no basically your point, a game which doesn't require realism, having realism is the main fault. I think there's some games where it's like Half-Life, for example, where it's like. I'm choosing Half-Life because Gabe, the guy like running everything over there, he's talked about realism before. It's like, why would you want realism in the game? So there's most games which the average person playing an average game wants to escape, and on average it's going to be stuff which isn't realistic, right?
Yeah.
Whether it be games where you can climb stuff like a spider. It's like you can't live like that. But there's people who find escapism and enjoy playing things like Escape from Tarkov or DayZ, where you have to drink water, you've got to like shower, and you've got to like do all these things. You've got to cook, you've got to eat. Or Escape from Tarkov, like if you get one tap in the head, you're dead and you lose everything. You have to, if you die, you lose your loot. Like really, like as close as you can get, basically. People enjoy that as well.
Great game, that, by the way.
Yeah, and that's realistic, right? Technically, if you think about it, if you get shot in the head once, you do die, right? And you will lose your stuff. You can't just, but you do respawn technically. But that's realism used in the right context. So it's
exactly.
It depends on what the context is. And I think on average, games normally escape without realism. So I will agree with the idea that it does kill fun because the average game probably isn't on the basis realistic. So adding realism to those games would ruin the fun of it.
Yeah.
If I had to give yes or no, but realistically, it's more about what's the context.
And the problem with realism is, like, there's loads of games out there, like No Man's Sky, stuff like that, which is just it's fantasy, fantasy games. Who wants to play? I mean, you know what? There is other elements where, if you look at the simulator type of games, train simulator, aeroplane simulators. I think aeroplane simulator is one of the not the greatest, one of the biggest selling games of all time. You've got yacht simulator, you've got all kind of games. So I kind of get hyper-realism in that aspect. Senegal should have equalised there and then, and it was sent over the bar.
Bugger.
They've had the chances.
Which you might, I don't know if you want. I'll ask you. I've got another one, a second one. So if you don't like this one, because you might not want to talk about this one because you don't really know, or if you don't play it. Roblox is one of the most important games ever made.
I don't know anything about it.
All right, we'll do the other one.
The only thing I would say, the people that I watch that talk about Roblox say it's a terrible game to let kids play because predators play it. That's about the only thing I know about Roblox.
Okay. Another question then. World of Warcraft will never be replaced.
I don't think we have got a... No, I'm going to change that. I'm going to change my answer. There is a game coming out next year, which, to all intents and purposes, Pamp has been sharing it on X. And I don't know the name of it. It's not hyper-realistic, but it is 3D. So it's nearly FP, not FPS. First-person MMO, whatever you want to call it, right? I don't think it's impossible, but you have to say it's impossible. It's a little bit like, what is the probability of finding life on another planet? The answer has to have a minimum of 1 or greater than 0 because we exist, okay? Now, based on that, every other single MMO that has ever been created has failed to some degree. And maybe you've got some exceptions like the spacecraft one. What's that?
EVE Online.
EVE Online, okay. You've got EVE Online, you have a few others, but they've never got to the scale of Warcraft. I think the reason is, very simply put, and I tell you this tomorrow, if somebody launched one tomorrow, they'd get 5 million players overnight. They try and do things differently. And that is why the answer to your question so far is 0, which means it will never be replaced because nobody's tried to do it properly. They have tried to be clever. They have tried different genres. It doesn't work without the lore, and the lore doesn't work without the game. And those things are interconnected. It's like if they launched France are through.
Yeah.
And France have scored.
What time do you have in your stream?
81:40. It's France
I'm 82. I'm ahead of you.
France 2, Senegal 0.
I just watched France score. I was like, why have you not said anything? How am I ahead of you? That's crazy.
That's a really good question. I don't know why you're ahead of me.
But yeah, I agree.
We didn't do shot. Oh no, right. Okay, tomorrow night is England and Croatia. We do some shots tomorrow night.
Yeah. I agree.
Update the scores. Yeah. You've updated the score as well. You're ahead of me.
I'm way ahead of you. I saw it before you. I've changed the score before you even saw the goal. If I gave my data to you, I'd be in the future. You wouldn't even. This would be the best purchase of your life. Would be purchasing this data from me.
Français 2, Senegal ne. That's for the French watcher who's watching. So where were we with Warcraft? Yeah, the reason is, are we still on Warcraft?
Yeah, all I said was I agree. I can't really be able to go into it, but I agree. Basically, what you said is what I would say. So,
yeah, I just think if me and you were going to start, that's what I was about to say before the goal. If because they're planning to do a Unreal Engine, is it Unreal Engine 5 or 6 we're on now?
6, I think.
6. They're planning to do an Unreal Engine 6 version of World of Warcraft, and it will still continue to hold the 6, 8, 10 million players that it's got, because it's still got the gameplay and it's still got the lore. And they're the two things people are just not understanding. So what's the next question? Have we got one that you can answer?
Yeah, I think this one's good. Which is more influential, Minecraft or GTA 5?
Culturally or educationally? Oh, that
it's
would
just
be
influential, whether it be how it changed people, how it changed people, how people responded to it, maybe. I don't know.
I'm going to be honest. I can't split them.
I'm going Minecraft all day.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, I can see exactly why you would say Minecraft, because it shaped. I wouldn't even say it shaped a generation. It shaped multiple generations.
It shaped my generation. It's shaping. It shaped one after me.
Yeah.
People there's people my age who played it, still play it. There's people who are 14 watching streamers who play Minecraft and do stuff on Minecraft, and and they are being shaped, and people who are even younger are getting shaped. It's since my generation or downwards, everyone has at least played Minecraft. GTA 5 I couldn't say the same for. And Minecraft, you can mod it. It gets people into redstone, which is good for computing. Obviously, it's all computer-based stuff, so it might not be influential for lore or economics, but it's still I still think it's a good game in terms of influential, in terms of it influenced a lot of people getting into Redstone. There's people who just like to build, people who just like to explore caves and kill mobs, and then there was a subset of people who love the idea of Redstone. And Minecraft, I think, especially for me anyway, and I assume for a lot of people my age, directly influenced them to head towards an interest in like computers, for example.
Yeah.
Because of Redstone.
What the one thing I would say, I like I said, I can't split them. I genuinely can't split them because I was around before the internet, okay? And this is a really kind of like surreal thing because anybody under the age of probably what? Let's see, when did it come out? Let's say 1995, so that's 31. So I would say anybody born after 1984, 85, so anyone who's 40 or younger is never going to comprehend what life was like. It's like the Industrial Revolution, or electricity. That's how significant the internet was. There's before Grand Theft Auto and there's after Grand Theft Auto. And it was such a defining thing that happened.
Well, that's the thing, though. The question is Grand Theft Auto 5.
No, Minecraft. Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you were going to say the Grand Theft Auto
series, I could agree with that a bit more, to be
universe, I would say, because what it did, right, is the only time in history that I remember, or anybody else remembers, where customs opened in Gibraltar on a Sunday was to bring in the courier that had a van full of Grand Theft Auto. The customs officers, the police, the border people allowed the game in. It was transported on a Sunday morning to every single shop in Gibraltar, and it was sold to people on the Sunday. This was before shops opened on a Sunday, okay?
Yeah.
No game has ever had that effect since, and that was maybe I don't know what it would have been, 2005? 2004, 2006? Find out which one that came out around that time. 2008. I don't think you don't think you were that old. It was around that period anyway. 2010.
Grand Theft Auto San Andreas made its debut on PC. I know hard.
It was the PlayStation one that I think.
Look at the releases. Vice 4 was 2008.
That was 2008. It's 2008. Again. Now the thing is, the other thing is, which has gone off on a little bit of a tangent. I'm so glad you managed to experience game launch day in a game shop.
Yeah.
In person, because people who download games now, it's not the same. This move online is lovely. It's great. It's all convenient, but convenient is not necessarily the best. The excitement that the people sleeping outside a shop overnight to buy a game.
Yeah.
I know they still do it for iPhones. I know that it's not the same thing. Getting a game at 3 a.m, 8 a.m, 6 a.m, and then coming home on a Friday and then playing it for 4 solid days,
or just playing it the whole day.
Exactly. But I would say Minecraft all day long over any singular version of GTA. But then again, I would also throw Call of Duty in there as well, because that was another type of defining game. But again, it's not Minecraft standard. It's not Minecraft level. So I would say Minecraft wins that. Definitely.
I've got another question which I haven't seen on this list, which is actually a big discourse within gaming, especially as of late. What do you think about the phrase or the idea? If buying isn't owning, then piracy isn't stealing.
I mean, it's not, because you have a problem in, and they brought this on themselves, by the way. I don't know if you know this story. I'm going to take a little step back for you here, right? We could have gone digital for gaming many years before we did. Many years before we did. And the reason we didn't is because they didn't have a distribution network for the hardware. Right. So buying a PlayStation or buying an Xbox, a lot of gaming shops, France are on the attack. Let's give it away. A lot of the gaming shops basically had a cartel, and PlayStation and people like that and all other game players, they wanted to just basically do digital downloads, and the game shop went, absolutely not, we're not doing that, we're not selling consoles. With no consoles, no games. So they held them by the throats for many years, and then, of course, you had online retailers like Amazon and Argos and everything else, and it all went by the wayside. So the reason I'm saying that is that this switch from digital, from physical to digital, the ownership of that disc that you have with that game on has always been the property of the gaming company. So a Sony game that you had on a disc in a box, if you ever read the instructions, it said, this remains the property of Blizzard. This remains the property of Sony. So they've always done this for years and a day. But the issue is, it's licensing. And if you steal a car, you steal a car. That's one thing. If you don't technically steal a license, you break a license.
Yeah.
So I would say, yes, it's illegal. It's illegal. But I don't think it's theft. I think it's a different definition of it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So that would be my argument.
Yeah, I agree. For me, I think it's two things. I think number one is you're not taking by pirating a game, you are not taking the original copy away from someone who rightfully bought that. You're just replicating it. So it's not stealing. I imagine if you look at Google, the definition of stealing, kind of on blue, is it's taking away from the actual owner, like taking an item or something away from an owner who purchased it, right? So that's categorically not stealing, piracy, if we go on that clause. I think one of the ones is, obviously, if purchasing isn't owning, obviously that being distributing of a game, it's digital, it's not a physical item. But also, there's been, the reason this whole discourse came about was a game called The Crew. It was like an online service sort of game, but you bought the disc, and basically it was they just shut the servers down. And Anthem was another one. I'm sure there's plenty of like PlayStation discs, for example, where that disc is now null and void. Like that isn't, it's like you don't own the game. Like the game doesn't exist anymore. Like you can't own it because it doesn't exist.
Nope. Destiny was the same.
Destiny as well, yep. So there's plenty of discs. I'm sure if I went in my cupboard, looked for my PlayStation 4 games, which I haven't played in ages, I've got plenty of games which I physically can't play. Even though, obviously, I know you say to buy it, it's a license, it's not owning it. So I suppose even in that capacity, you've never owned it to begin with, so you can never steal it. You can just break the legislation or break the rules, or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there's.
Oof.
What there's
a goal? Is that was on 2-1.
I can't believe you're ahead of me.
Yep. What did I say? Did I say 2-1? Did I say 1-0? What did we say at the start for the goal? Prediction?
Goal! That's a screamer! Absolute screamer! We have seen some quality tonight. Let me update.
Did we give a prediction for the score?
You said 2-1.
Did I say 2-1?
I think you said 2-1, yeah.
I think I said 2-1. I just wanted to check.
Yeah, I think you said 2-1. That was scored with 3 minutes of injury time left.
We've got 3 minutes left, and the prediction was France to win 2-1, and it's getting very close to it finalising at France win 2-1. I think the only thing we haven't got is Dembele. I don't know if Dembele scores. Has scored yet? I don't
Dembele's not scored.
No.
No,
So that's the only thing we've got. But one of within the Crypto Warehouse Collective, we got it right.
We did. I mean, what was I going to say? Yeah. So in the European Union, there are.
What are they doing? What are they doing? Why are they all holding in? It's not over. Have they given up? Have they just got out? Whatever. He's got 2 minutes.
3-1. Mbappe has scored again.
Jesus. I looked away from the screen and I just see him like
a screamer.
Never mind, I'm wrong.
No, the bet was France.
Yeah, but it's nice to get the score right. That happened in like 15 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant game.
That was crazy.
Danny has said 2-2 would be a nice ending.
Not anymore.
Not anymore, Danny. Not anymore.
That is crazy.
3-1.
Are they showing? Wait, were they showing? Were they showing clips of the manager when he scored? Because I generally don't think I saw him run to score.
No,
I didn't even.
I saw the goal.
I was watching him.
I was
on tabs. I should have gone. You know what? Because no.
We should have gone for Mbappe to score.
We should have, because I don't know anybody. I know Dembele is the striker, but I'm a naive little kid. I don't watch football. My thing is France to win. Mbappe scores. Mbappe is the big name. Big name must mean he good. Mbappe scored.
I tell you what, I've been massively disappointed with Senegal. Not with their play, with their wasted opportunities, because they should have scored. And the thing is, at this level, if you get 3 chances in a game and you don't take one of them, you're going to lose 3-1. And it's one of those things. If it's 0-0 and you miss 3 golden chances, you lose 3-1. If you go 1-0 up, it gives you something to hang on to, and then you probably don't lose 3-1. You probably might get a draw, you might win. But they missed so many chances. I know they had the goal disallowed. It was offside, though. It was a screamer of a goal that they scored. It was a good goal. But France have done nothing to win this match apart from score those goals. It's been the best game of the tournament in the second half so far.
Oh yeah, 100%. We 50 minutes in, nothing happened. We started talking about all sorts.
Nope. France are on the break. Mbappe is not looking happy.
I think I hit the face with the ball.
Danny has said they are faster playing and scoring than I am typing. Well, I am behind everybody, Danny. Oh, absolutely.
They keep on showing these 2 goals. It's ridiculous.
Screamer. Well, we have entertained through the tough times. We've taken the hard yards tonight. Yeah. And we've been rewarded with some screamers.
Why is the match still going?
Hello. Has he broke his nose? No, not broken his nose.
That was tricky. Why are we still going?
Because we just are.
Oh.
Has that gone in?
I don't think I went in.
Oh.
It looked like it did.
The entire ball has to
cross
needs
to go in, is it? Okay, fine.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look.
Nah, it's fine.
Nah, it's not in. That's not in. And that is full time. France 3, Senegal 1. You've learnt about football. You've learnt about time travel. You have learnt about UK banning social media. You've learnt about gaming. You've learnt about licensing. What else have they learnt about today, Oracle?
There's so many things. I can't even list them all off. It's been such an educative stream. I don't think you'd find this anywhere else. I'm sure if you went on I'm not name names because we're somewhere else, but I'm sure if you went onto that green platform and you looked at anyone else streaming the World Cup, not to throw shade at anybody, but I'm throwing shade at everybody. You're not getting the sort of content you're getting right over here.
No.
And I'm 20 seconds in the future, so you're not getting the most up to date. You're getting the most up to date scores you could possibly get anywhere else. So I can't believe I'm actually ahead on this stream. I'm ahead of you. That is amazing. I'm definitely going to be streaming. I'm glad we found somewhere to stream via the actual our software, which is actually good. Yeah. How was the game?
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the. Oh, yeah, we didn't look at Twitter, did we? They'll be tearing up the streets tonight, won't they? Right, I should probably say goodbye to YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. It's been greatly appreciated. I am now probably going to mute the mics and put some music on for the last couple of minutes. 3-1, France, le Français, tres, Senegal, uno. Good night.
Good night.